Well, hello again. I've had a few days off at Crick Marina. Well, the boat's been at Crick Marina. I've been to Norfolk and down to Bournemouth and back. I'm heading off again after 6 days off the boat, and I'm really pleased to be back. And Crick Marina have looked after the boat for me very nicely. Just a tiny bit north of Crick Marina. And there's this narrowboat in a field. A bit strange. As we approach Yelvertoft Marina, you'll see this little bridge and the windmill on the right. Can't miss the windmill. So that means you're coming into Yelvertoft Marina if you should wish to stop there. And the bridge is very low actually, it looks quite low. I'll get the screen under it, but I don't think I'd have got the canopy under there, so I'm quite glad I took it down. And this is the Yelvertoft Marina. Just coming past it now, and there's the windmill in the distance that we saw from the other side. Obviously you can't moor outside the marina, it's quite a large one. Lots and lots of spaces in here. Well, we've just come through Yelvertoft, and as you head north up the Leicester branch, you'll see coming through Yelvertoft, first of all there's a water mooring, 1 hour only for services. And then there's some long-term moorings, and finally it's just about a couple of hundred feet, not even that, maybe 150 feet of 14-day moorings on the towpath side. And after that, which is what we've just passed, you're on the bank again somewhere else. I mean, you could moor up here on the left, but look at it, it's so overgrown. It's a common problem. So it says 14 days without charge, but you know, there's no Armco on the left. You want more in the weeds, that's your lookout. Going under these power lines here, they're buzzing away like mad. But in the distance you can see some work going on at Winwick Grange. That's Winwick Grange by Bridge 23. And it looks like there's a huge extension or maybe some new houses going up there. So I don't know what that's going to look like when it's done. Looks like new housing actually. I don't know. Anyway, that's Winwick Grange. And I just missed it with the camera, but we just passed a sign saying Leicester is 33 miles away. So at this speed, which is 3 miles an hour, that's a good 11 hours of cruising. So 2 days I'd say probably to Leicester, but I'll be taking my time. After last night's rain, it stormed really nice this morning, but apparently it's going to be raining again, well, very cloudy at least after lunch, and raining again by evening with thunderstorms. So we'll bring you that if we get an opportunity. But in the meantime, it's 8 o'clock and I'm going to head off on this beautiful, calm, sunny so far day. This is a very typical scene on the Leicester branch of the Grand Union. A narrow canal with beautiful rural land either side. It's very tranquil up here, in between the locks that is. And this long pound of 20 miles is particularly beautiful and tranquil, in between Watford Locks and Foxton Locks. Well, the Leicester branch is very pretty, very pleasant to drive along. There's no shortage of places to moor up. Look at the Armco barrier on the left there by the piling. I would say that more than half of the canal is piled like that, and more than half of the canal is empty like this, even in July, August time. So the opportunity to choose whether you moor under trees or not, there's plenty of spaces to tie up, even in the height of the season. I don't know if a lot of people come up here in the off season for mooring, for peace and quiet, but you know, you're not too far from a water point here. You know, you don't need to move once a week to get rid of your toilet tank or what have you. It's a good spot. Well, we are heading towards Leicester, as you can see. It's 29 miles according to that mile marker there. Slow progress on the Leicester branch of the Grand Union. Slow progress. Just passing some huge wheat fields here. stretch up the hill as far as the eye can see. Looks to have been quite a lot of damage to these crops from the heavy rain and the storms we've had lately, which is a shame for the farmer. But a lot of it's okay. So we're on the summit pound here, and we have been for some miles. This is the summit from Welford Locks all the way to Foxton Locks, and it runs about 20 miles long. And it's plenty full of water at the moment. As you can see, there's a little bit running over the spillway there. Not a lot, but a little. Enough to trickle over, which means this is essentially full, this section of the canal, which is a good thing, because there have been a lot of issues with water shortages this summer. I guess the recent rains have probably helped, and we're going to have more rain over the next few days. There has been flooding in some parts of the country, which has been very serious. But here, it's adequate rain, I suppose. Everything's nice and green at the moment. It's not all dried out like it was last summer. So the canal's nice and full, which is good for depth, and it makes it easier to progress. The boats go better with a bit of water underneath them. Well, looking behind us, that's an aqueduct, which you kind of notice the ground dropping away on both sides. As you can see through the trees there, I hope. We're much higher up than the ground either side of us. Farm over there. And this is the junction to the Welford arm. The Welford junction. So to the right takes you down to the village of Welford, and to the left continues on up past Kilworth to towards Leicester. And there's a little signpost there telling you which way to go. So the sign says Foxton 7 miles. Welford, it's a couple of miles down the arm there. And Norton Junction 15 miles and 3/4, I think it says. Bridge 42. On and up we go. Just passing the entrance to the new North Kilworth Marina. It's enormous. Absolutely huge marina. It's only a couple of years old, and already looks quite mature, the landscaping. But absolutely massive. You can get literally everything done there. So this goes on for quite a while along the canal here. North Kilworth Wharf with boat services, diesel, water fill up. They charge £2 for water, or it's free if you spend more than £10. It's sadly closed today, or I would have filled up with diesel. But I'll just have to plod on. I didn't really need it. My tank's probably about 3/4 full, but I don't know when I'm next going to be able to fill up, so I thought I'd just top up there. Well, it's rather clouded over now. I'm in a tree-lined cutting anyway, approaching the Husbands Bosworth Tunnel, so I guess I'm going to go through the tunnel out the other side, and if it's getting cloudier still, I might start looking for a mooring for the afternoon, as the weather is looking pretty grim. Just round this corner is the Husbands Bosworth Tunnel. So you can see the mouth of the tunnel there. Usual tunnel rules apply. Turn on all your lights, turn off all naked flames, switch on your headlight. Don't cook, keep well behind the boat in front, and if you break down, turn off your engine. So the tunnel mouth comes into view. We'll have a quick look and see if we can get a view down to the other end, if it's straight enough or not. Some of these are very straight, others have a big kink in the middle. Oh, there's a boat coming the other way. Just about to come out, you can see the other end. Here we go. Into the tunnel. So we're in Husbands Bosworth Tunnel. This is a straight tunnel, but it's quite a wet tunnel. Certainly at the southern entrance, quite a lot of drips. We're just going to chug on through. There's nothing in front of us, fortunately. I'm glad I put my screen down because I did have a nasty scrape in the side and I've lost my starboard navigation light, unfortunately. Quite a lot of scrape marks on the walls here. They curve in too much for a modern leisure boat. Obviously this tunnel was built for working boat traffic, not for leisure boats. There's a few little wibbles and wobbles in it as well, but it's generally pretty straight. So we'll just keep on navigating our way through and get out the other side. And I'm going to concentrate on my steering now because I don't really want to hit the wall again. At 525 metres we've reached the central point of the tunnel, so we're now nearer to the northern exit, northern portal. It's not too bad, there's a bit of drippage through the roof, but it's not too wet in here. You can see a few drips ahead in the distance, but again it's reasonably dry even though we've had quite a bit of rain lately. That's the northern portal of the Husbands Bosworth Tunnel, just coming out into the daylight again now. And there it is. Oh, it seems so bright. That's an old British Waterways sign there. I don't know if you can see the heron off in the distance there. I always thought herons were pretty stupid birds because they hop along in front of the boat, and when you get a bit nearer they hop along in front again. But someone told me that's part of their fishing pattern. As the boat comes along, it disturbs the fish. The heron can then see them if they've been disturbed and get a free meal. So they hop along in front of the boats in order to be more likely to catch fish. I don't know if that's true or not, but there you go, that's what I heard. Our heron's going to be in a bit of a quandary because there's people walking down the, there he goes, people walking down the path towards him and a boat coming the other way, and he's hopped off to the other side and waited for us both to go past. Maybe not such a stupid bird after all. Going under Bridge 49, there's a rather strong smelling farm, silos up there. There's some cows in the shed just here. Wonder why they aren't out in the fields. Having a snooze. Afternoon, ladies. So we're about 3 miles south of Foxton Locks. We're about 3 miles, I guess. Yeah, we've just gone on the Bridge 49. That was Lodge Farm. And if you look at the map here, 1, 2, 3 miles and we're at Foxton Locks. Here we have yet another idyllic Northamptonshire scene on the Leicester Arm. Bridge 51. Chugging along, eating up the miles slowly, but heading ever closer to Foxton Locks. Hi there again, I'm moored up here, just a couple of miles south of Foxton Locks, which I'll probably take on tomorrow if the weather's okay. And just behind me in this field, I'm going to refocus the camera. Just behind the boat there's this field of cows, and they were right down by the water earlier, mooing quite a lot, and I was hoping that they wouldn't stay there. They seem to have wandered halfway up the hill, so hopefully they won't make too much racket tonight. And behind me in the field, which you can't see, you can hear it though, there's a combine harvester making a lot of noise doing the harvesting. I found a gap in the hedge and you can see the combining. It's going on not in the field next to me, but the one behind that. And obviously with the weather forecast to be absolutely horrible tonight and tomorrow, thunderstorms and heavy rain, they need to get that crop in as quickly as they can. So there they are, working away, and I think they'll probably go on until the weather stops them. Again, I usually only tie on with these 2 centre lines, but when the weather's forecast to be very bad, strong winds and heavy rain, I will often put an extra rope on, and that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to tie off with an extra rope to the handcuff chain there, at the front certainly, and I think I will at the back as well. Well, I don't know if you can see me there, but if you've got the extra ropes, it certainly does make sense to use them. Especially if the weather's not going to be so nice. We are quite a way off the bank there, so I'll use the rope to pull the boat in nice and tight. Do the same at the stern, and then she's just not going to go anywhere. This idyllic scene is being interrupted by heavy rolls of thunder. There's no sign of any rain yet. Do you see that dragonfly? Isn't that lovely? There's no sign of any rain yet. Those little spots of the water are insects or fish moving under the water. But it's only a matter of time. Yes, they're fish eating insects off the surface of the water. It's only a matter of time before the rain does get here. And when it does, it's going to absolutely sling it down. I'm just actually going to wander up to this hole in the fence and have a look across and see where these clouds are that are producing this noise, because normally... Oh, right, they're all the way over there in the distance, where that poor farmer's combining his fields in that direction. Let's just come on. Yeah, they are. And you can really hear it. And it's heading this way. I'm facing directly into the wind, so those darker clouds up there with the thunder in them are heading straight this way. I only hope the poor farmer can get his field combined before the rain comes, because heavy rain like that will ruin the crop. It still looks sort of okay over here. There's a bit of sunlight through the clouds, but over this way the sky has gone a sort of a brownish grey colour through the trees. And it's distinctly colder, and you can hear that coming. That's getting nearer and nearer. I haven't seen any flashes yet, but the rumbles are louder, so it's going to be exciting when this one comes in. So the way it goes is usually the clouds come over and then the wind picks up. So the clouds come first, then comes the wind, and then the third thing to arrive is the rain. And you can hear that. Those thunderclouds in there, the whole sky, all the way across the valley there, has gone a kind of greyish brown. And that's where the thunderstorm is. And I think it's raining over on the hills on the other side of this valley in the distance, because it's gone hazy over there suddenly. And it's clearer to the north. A little bit clearer to the north. So I think what we're seeing there in the distance is the rain coming over, and I can feel a few drops already. In fact, look at the canal. Here comes the rain. So the clouds first, then the wind, then the rain. That's the way it goes. And in a minute it's going to be pelting down. So I'm going inside to get out of it and shut all my windows. Oh, that's getting closer. Nothing quite like sitting up here in the dry watching a thunderstorm. I'm glad I put the extra ropes on now. Suddenly the rain's got a lot heavier, some very large drops falling. I have a feeling it's not at its peak yet either. It's coming down at almost a 45-degree angle, so the wind from the east there is quite strong from our right. So I really am glad I put the extra ropes on. Even heavier still. The storm's probably right overhead now. The cows, for some reason, seem to have completely disappeared from the field next door. They were all over the field, they've just gone. I can't say I blame them. We see the huge drops of rain are coming down, and they're hitting the water with so much force they're making big bubbles every time they land. That's quite heavy.